It's the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.
Paul, I think the boss wants to see you.
Why? What did I do?
Brother! Get in here!
You wanted to see me, sir?
Close the door. Pull down your pants.
What?
You heard me now. Do it.
What?
Bend over.
What? No, but
I said bend over.
What are you doing with that glove?
Quiet!
Hey!
Quiet!
Ooh.
I said quiet! Quiet! Now get out of here! Hey, what happened?
I got my butt reamed.
Move.
Are you suffering from job-related stress? Is your boss unreasonable? There is help. Call the Job Stress Hotline today. We have trained counselors who can help.
Hey, who's that in the boss's office?
That's my lawyer.
The Job Stress Hotline. Call today.
Today? Oh, you mean National Bosses Day, Tony?
Yeah.
You weirdo. It's the top 5 at 6 on the KQ Morning Show for Wednesday, October 16th. And yes, number 5, it is, in fact, National Bosses Day.
Yeah, we don't have a boss. Not really. Some jerk down in Atlanta, but not on site anymore. I love it. I don't even know who to hate around this building.
Yeah, Bosses Day to me, it sounds like when Congress approves their own pay raise.
Yeah.
The bosses got together and said, let's have a Bosses Day, right? What do you have a Bosses Day for? We recognize the hardworking boss overseeing the workplace. Employees across the United States show appreciation and thankfulness to the boss. Stop. You're the boss. What am I thanking you for?
Yeah,
Come on,
you're
that's just
welcome.
something totally wrong. Yeah, really. Look how hard we're working. Look, you should see how hard we're working right now.
All right.
You're the boss.
Thank God there's not a webcam up in this studio right now. You have to shake me awake right at 6 a.m. every day. Number 4 in your top 5 at 6. Caramel apples, a Halloween tradition.
Yes.
I look back on childhood and I remember there was always one neighbor that would just hand those things out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Very
pretty
popular.
exciting. The only problem is they can kill you.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yes, they can. Caramel apples can flat out kill you, ladies and gentlemen.
Gotta eat a lot of them.
Well, you got to eat them fast is what you got to do. 7 people last year died from a listeria outbreak caused by caramel apples. Here's how it works. If you dip an apple in hot caramel, it doesn't kill all the bacteria on the apple's skin. In fact, it adds a nice insulated layer so the bacteria can grow and multiply. And then what happens is if you stick that caramel apple in your fridge for, say, a week or two and I'll eat it later, well, then that thing's just full of bacteria.
No.
Here's the thing. Make a caramel apple, eat a caramel apple. Don't just, if it's been in the fridge a couple days, just get rid of that bad boy.
Yeah.
Of course, you could also just not eat a caramel apple because they're kind of, I like caramel and I like apple, but I never like the combo.
They'll take your teeth out.
You gotta be careful with that caramel. I mean, that's how, never mind.
Oh,
No, I can't pull the trigger. It was an ex-girlfriend yeast infection joke, but I'm just not going to get into it. I'll save it.
You don't have to. It's done. Your work is done here. Thank you. It is not time for number 3 on your top 5 at 6. Oh, Aaron Rodgers is reunited. And it feels so good with Devontae Adams has been traded to the Jets. Aaron Rodgers, our favorite guy to hate, now has his favorite player ever back on the fold for the New York Jets. Whatever.
I love how he claims it's a surprise. It's they called me and gave me the news, and I was delighted.
It's amazing. Yeah, you're the quarterback they just paid a king's ransom for. They're going to tell you what's going on. Aaron Rodgers, here it is. I suck in London, fire the coach. Suck against Buffalo, get a new receiver.
Right.
As long as you don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain. It's all just stuff to talk about to keep people away from the fact that he's just not been that good this year.
Over the hill. He's going to get back together with Olivia Munn, too, I heard.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Number 2 on your top 5 at 6. Researchers in China have created a robotic finger that can be used for prostate exams. Okay.
They've already got that. It's on Amazon.
Yeah.
It comes in all sorts
of shapes and sizes.
Yeah, that's right.
A flexible finger-like probe with sensors on the end. It could be used to detect things like an enlarged prostate or abnormal lumps, I should say. Here's what I say. Oh, it's called a BSF, bio-inspired soft finger.
Sure.
No. How about this? I mean, I hate to be the guy saying, hey, get off my porch. But get your robot finger out of my ass. That's what
I don't know.
I want that finger attached to a man that I can hold accountable.
Right, exactly. Someone breathing heavy behind me. That's how I like to get mine.
Rectum, prostate, testicles, prostate, testicles, prostate, testicles, testicles, prostate, testicles, prostate, testicles, testicles.
A robot does not get the joke when you sing Moon River. That's all I can say. Hey, is that a robot finger up my ass, or are you just glad to see me, Doc?
I'm
not interested. Not interested at all. Number 1 on your top 5 at 6. Oh, the Wild in a 4-1 win over St. Louis last night. Kind of a special moment there at the end of the game. What about old Philip Gustafson getting in on the action?
Goalie goal. I wonder if he would traded that goal with 9 seconds left for the goal that he left in the net. Earlier in the game.
I bet he would have. I would imagine.
Instead of a goal. Although the team went nuts and... there you have it.
Hey, a wrister from over 160 feet. You got to get a tip of the cap to that one.
I'll tip my cap.
Here is the craziest thing about this. Okay, he's the first Wild goalie to ever score a goal. Mm-hmm. This is only the 15th all time in the NHL.
Yeah.
Wow.
18th ever recorded by a goaltender. Martin Brodeur has 3. Ron Hextall has 2. So this is only the 15th goalie to ever do it. 18th ever. I mean, in the history of the NHL, I'm not saying I'm a hockey, know-it-all by any stretch, but I would have thought that number was dozens, just over the thousands of games over the decades.
Right.
Only the 18th ever, and only the 15th guy to do it. Incredible.
Yeah, Webby did it during Broom Ball once out at Nokomis, but that was pretty special.
Well, I remember that. I remember hearing about that.
Everyone was talking about it at the big pond competition. But I would have thought it would have been much higher than that as well. And it keeps during the power play, so it keeps their power play percentage up. Which we're around 30%. Rocking.
Gotta like that.
And their power play is a strength for the Wild so far this year, I think.
4 games, 2 wins, 2 overtime losses. It could be a whole lot worse. From hockey to hooky. The best kind of hooky. Teachers playing hooky. Let's build a mixtape next. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Wednesday, October the 16th. About 30 minutes from right now, we're going to be giving away some Iron Maiden tickets. And later in the show, wait for it, we're giving away tickets to see a band called Golden Smog.
What the hell?
Playing First Avenue next month.
Twin Cities Supergroup?
Twin Cities Supergroup, Golden Smog.
I love it.
With a new kid in town on the drum kit. We're going to be giving away tickets. I'll say like Golden Smog. Come on, guys on rock radio used to talk like that.
I know.
You're rocking with the Eagle. It's a Wednesday morning with the Eagle. We got some Def Leppard. Man, I used to listen to that stuff and just like, man, these guys are getting paid to talk like that. It makes my jaw tired.
It's an ab workout.
That's exactly we'll put you on the show, but we're gonna have to get you into Pilates studio first. Yeah. Make sure you can maintain that
really
sort
helps
of.
If you have a cowbell behind you,
early 90s, first touring days. Walk into the rock station and the guy would be like, "So what's it like on the road?" I'm just tired a lot. Don't eat really well. I'm just kind of drinking too much. It's got to be a party 247 with the black shoes on the road. It's like, man, what are you talking about? And you're right, it's at the cowbell. You guys are going to be partying tonight down at the Pantry. Like, wow, we're playing a club called the Pantry? That's kind of weird.
Coffee breath and gingivitis in the morning. Hey, everybody.
Wear earplugs and save your money, boys. It's a quick ride to hell. Anyway, oh boy, what a off ramp that was. The good old days, the glory days, the salad days, I like to call them. The MEA conference, speaking of the good old days, this weekend in Minnesota, this is new to me, this whole MEA thing.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's basically just hooky for teachers is what I'm getting. It's been going on for years here. The third Thursday of October, every year it kicks off. I've already gotten warnings. I have the little text update thing from the airport, MSP Airport.
Oh, yeah.
And it'll just be like, this weekend is going to be crazy. I'm not going anywhere. I don't care. But it's like, wow, what's happening? All the teachers are coming in. And it got me thinking thinking about hooky, which full acknowledgement. Hooky, something I never did in high school, not once.
Oh, you had a perfect attendance
My school was,
award, yeah.
know.
Well, no, I never got perfect attendance.
Oh, I thought you had that one.
I got typing. I was the best typist.
I was one of
the
those.
fastest typist.
Equally as nerdy.
It's called OCD. No, but I never played hooky once because my school was so small. You couldn't.
Yeah, right.
You could choose not to go, but you got busted. It wasn't like you just skipped and no one noticed. Yeah. So it was just not a possibility. But when I would watch movies or talk to my friends at the big giant public school, I'd be like, you just didn't go to class and no one know. Wow.
Yeah.
What a life, man.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about, but there's but this is what the teachers are doing, because now Ryder has told me apparently MEA is a chance for teachers to play hooky.
Yeah, they get all wound up.
I know. Very much air quotes conferences.
I know in my singles days in my 30s, it was a great weekend to go out and meet some wild women. Teachers gone wild.
Really? Why? How has this not been turned into a Netflix series?
Yeah, I don't.
Minnesota teachers just cutting loose with a capital L.
I know the Vegas shows for the morning show in the early 2000s were over MEA. Then for some reason they moved it to November. I don't know why.
Okay.
But we missed those MEA years because a whole bunch of teachers would come with us out to Vegas and
wait, the teachers who were supposed to be here for the conferences would instead go to Vegas.
Yeah, and it was just they would lead the charge.
That's professional grade hooky.
Yeah,
that is incredible.
Yeah, good stuff. So, I mean, I'm sure they'll get some constructive workshopping done.
I'm curious what really goes down at MEA. I'm now completely fascinated by this concept. I would welcome a text or a call from a teacher who can fill me in on just how drunk you're going to be for the next few days. 651-989-ROCK is the KQ talking text line. And as long as we're doing that, let's put together a little mixtape for all of our hooky playing teachers.
Oh, all right.
And the first song that comes to mind, Todd Rundgren's Bang the Drum All Day. That's basically an anthem for life hooky. I just don't want to work. I'm just going to bang the drum all day. I remember hearing that as a kid and being like, that's the whole song. He's just, that's all he's singing? Okay, yeah, I get it.
You talk about early 90s radio. Wasn't that one on Fridays? Hey, it's Friday! Heinz and Berglund. And
that was their theme.
On the drum all day.
Sure.
I remember that. But yeah, that's
we got a big rock weekend coming up for you. It's Friday. Let's kick it off on the rock. Halfway between like an auctioneer and man, I missed my calling I'm a little late.
Yeah.
I mean, rock radio, I love it, but I should have been doing it back in the day.
It's hard to maintain for 4 hours.
Man, I can't imagine.
You hit that wall early.
Yeah. And now I am, of course, I'm horrifically reminded of many of those early morning interviews when you were on tour, and all they want you to do is come in and tell them great stories, and all you feel like doing is going, could you guys just play the song like at least 3 times a day, please, thank you so much. But instead they're like, well, tell me about the first time you went to Las Vegas, and you're going, I just really have a headache. I know you want me to be funny, but I just don't think I can do it right now.
I think that's why we were so loud when the rock stars came in, because we knew you guys were hung to the gills.
Oh my God, it's terrible.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely terrible.
Name a song that's on your soundtrack for playing hooky. How many people do you think at this exact moment, at this exact same time, are typing in another brick in the wall?
Oh,
I'm going to say
a lot.
50.
Plenty.
Yeah. You'll be the first one to enter it on the KQ Facebook page. Born to Run. I like that one right out. The boss is the boss.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. Boss's day. I didn't even think that we should be playing Springsteen all day. He's not my boss. I'm sorry.
No.
I'll go to work for Tom Petty, but not for that sumbitch from New Jersey. Just saying. He'd make you do push-ups and stuff. Petty'd be like, just pass another joint, man.
Yeah,
we're having
right.
a good day here.
You're right. You couldn't skip class with Springsteen. Or wait a second. I'm confusing. I'm crossing my streams here. Boss, teachers, MEA break. Back to the topic, yeah.
We got it all in the morning zoo on KQRS Radio. It's time for a look back. I do remember this day, October the 16th, 1970. The Orioles beat the Reds to claim the World Series 4-1, and I do remember it was one of my first very clear sports memories.
Yeah.
Now, I did live in Maryland at the time. The Orioles are my longest-standing sports affiliation as a fan, and so it's a big thing for me. But let me say this, that locked me in. I'm an Orioles lifer. 70s and early 80s were good, but make no mistake, the last 41 years have sucked. God.
Well,
I mean, come on, man.
you are home here in Minnesota.
I mean, when people are like, are you actually going to cheer for the Twins? I'm like, yeah, of course. What the hell? I mean, the Orioles, yeah, we get to the playoffs and get swept every year. I can just do that here.
It's a lateral move.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. So, Twins are right there at 1A. You know what I mean? I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to say I've replaced the O's, but it's right next door.
Fair enough.
On this day in 1989, Wayne Gretzky passed Gordie Howe as the NHL's all-time scorer. 1989.
I know.
He passed Gordie Howe. His last game was in 1999. He played a full decade as the leading scorer in league history.
I'm just trying to think. Didn't he come in early 80s?
Yeah.
Probably 82 or something like that. I'm kind of pulling that out of my butt.
Yes, he did.
But, so in 8 years past Gordie Howe, who played for 200 years.
600 seasons.
Yeah.
2,857 points is what Wayne retired with. Yager is number 2 with 1,921. He is almost 1,000 points ahead of the second greatest scorer in NHL history.
Yeah.
The great one, it's a bit of an understatement. His nickname should literally be the only one. That's it. Wayne Gretzky, you're the only one.
Yeah,
nice run, dude.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. You're listening to the KQ Morning Show. Steve, Zep, Tony, and Ryder on 92 KQRS.
Good morning, Wednesday, October the 16th. Good morning, especially to our friends in Ellsworth, Wisconsin.
Who said cheese curds for breakfast?
Man, everybody in Ellsworth, Wisconsin said cheese curds for breakfast.
With the Lineys, that's not bad out there by the chili feed nearby at the Gaslight Tavern.
Oh, yeah,
Ellsworth,
baby.
That's stretching the signal out there. Good morning.
Yes.
I mean, really?
Yeah.
Hi.
We're glad to have you, Ellsworth.
Yeah.
We're glad. Technology's crazy, isn't it?
I know.
Go figure. I tell you what else is kind of crazy is we got a little something cooked up right now. We're ready to rock a little game that we call Twofer. And I believe, Tony, correct me if I'm wrong, we may already have a caller lined up.
Our buddy Mike from Maplewood is at the ready.
Mike from Maplewood. Good morning, sir. Mike, turn the radio down. You with us?
We got a little something cooked up right now.
Oh, Mike.
Mikey.
You know what? We're going to probably have to get another caller.
Yeah.
Mike's tuning us out. 651-989-ROCK is the number. Mike looks like he missed the boat.
Good morning.
There he is. I knew if I threatened
Good morning.
Good to have you, Mike. You with us? You're with us. Turn that radio down and let's rock. Mike, give me your favorite
I'm
band.
here.
Give me your favorite band, Mike. Mike,
I'm here.
give me your favorite band.
Van Halen.
Okay.
Favorite team, any sport.
Well, I'm jumping on that wagon, the Vikings.
Attaboy. All right. Vikings and Van. I like it. It's a good combo. Okay, here's what we're doing, Mike. We're going to play a game called Twofer. We're going to ask you 5 questions. It's the same 5 questions that Ryder asked one of her local barflies. Is that a good way to describe this, Ryder?
Yep. Absolutely.
Ryder was out and about, and she asked a gentleman she met 5 questions, and if you can match their questions, if 2 of the answers match from the barfly, you're going to win Iron Maiden tickets. Are you ready to play, sir?
I'm ready, buddy.
All right, Ryder, have I missed anything?
I don't think so. No, I'll tell you a little bit about the barfly. His name is Alex. I met him at the Eagles Club in South Minneapolis last night. He does software sales. His favorite band, Soundgarden. His favorite team, Vikings.
Nice.
That
Cool
should help
guy.
you out a little bit, Mike.
All right.
You know.
There you go. All right.
And about how inebriated would you say he was on a scale of 1 to 10?
He was doing beer in a bump, but he seemed to be a pro. So
All right.
And you?
I just cracked my first PBR when I started this. So.
She came in and burped right in my face this morning.
So
All right.
It's just a beer with a shot.
It's a beer, yeah, and a shot.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if you drop the shot in there, it would be a Boilermaker.
Okay, got it. Perfect. Yeah. I came of age in the 80s. That had a whole different meaning.
Beer and a shot. There was
beer and a bump was a very, very different thing.
Right.
That's all. I'm like, wow, Ryder, you sure you want to talk about this on the air?
South Dakota was beer and a dump.
Who'd order that?
Well,
been there too.
Nature.
All right, Mike, here we go. Question number 1. Which road has the worst traffic in all of the Twin Cities?
494 Bloomington Strip.
Wow, very specific. Ryder?
Go on to question number 2, and then we'll get Alex's answers in a bit.
Oh, gotcha. Sorry. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, we got your answer logged in. Now, Mike, number 2. Finish this phrase. Jack and blank.
Jill.
Jill, okay. Got it. You said Jill, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, number 3. What is something you need to start a band?
A drummer.
I like that answer. All right, Mike, number 4. Name something you find at a tailgate party.
Barbecue grill.
Like it. And finally, your fifth question. Who's the cooler Jimmy? Which Jimmy is cooler, Hendrix or Page?
Jimi Hendrix.
Fair enough. I like Mike without hesitation. 5 for 5 on those. All right, let's see if Mike and Barfly Alex have anything in common with the way they approach the world.
What road has the worst traffic in the Twin Cities?
394 coming into Minneapolis.
It's really
Finish
whatever
the
road
phrase,
you're on.
Jack and
Jill.
What's something you need to start a band?
A drummer.
Oh!
There you go. Name something you'd find at a tailgate party.
Beer.
Cooler Jimmy, Hendrix or Page?
Hendrix.
Wow.
The hell? There were no wrong answers, but a lot of matching
Man,
answers.
3 out of 5.
Nice.
Mike, well done,
Impressive.
sir.
Going to Iron Maiden, dude.
Yeah, Mike, you just won Iron Maiden tickets October 22nd at the XL Energy Center. Right on, brother.
Cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
What about the dude at the bar? Did you buy a beer for him anyway?
I was going to bring some stickers, and I forgot them.
Man. Jeez, that's awesome. All right, Mike, we'll have fun at Iron Maiden. That's a good game. I like the match the Barfly game. That's pretty strong. Barfly twofer. I like it.
Imagine working at a bar. I mean, you're doing your job. That's crazy. I love it. What a great excuse to hang out at the bar.
And by the way, kudos to Tony for that bed of music. What in the world are you playing?
It's a fine piece, isn't it?
It is. I'm digging it, man. That's great. All right, we got another giveaway in less than an hour. We're giving away some Golden Smog tickets. That's gonna be more than worth your time. But up next, you know things have gone sideways when the smartest kid in school is suing the school. Oh, you're gonna love this story. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. Good morning. We have tickets and a game in about 30 minutes to give away Golden Smog tickets 30 minutes from right now. That'll be fun, don't you think? Right now, let's go to Massachusetts, Hingham, Massachusetts. Hingham, Massachusetts, just south of Boston. It's a great town. I'm sure it's good people. The family of a student at Hingham High School. Hingham. It sounds like a Robin Williams Latin joke about to hack. Hingham, hang'em, heckum, heckum. Go out there and really fight. What was that? Hingham High. Hingham High is being sued. A student was accused of cheating because he used AI to help complete a paper.
Well,
his parents are saying this is completely unfair. He didn't cheat. They say he cheated. That's not what he did. They say that he only added language regarding the school only added language regarding to AI to their school handbook this year. Well, this happened this year.
Okay.
There's a school handbook about usage of AI. And the parents are going, well, this rule never even existed until now.
Well,
but
yeah.
it exists now.
Okay.
Yeah, before it was called cheating off, copying off your friend's paper, your smarter friend's paper or something. But now they have AI to do it. And hey, listen, I would have done the hell out of it. I would have really had to have dumbed it down, Put in like double negatives and stuff like that.
The parents, Jennifer and Dale. Jennifer is a writer. Dale is himself a school teacher. The lawsuit says their son used AI as a tool to do research, but not to write the paper. Now, I don't have the language what the school says, but they thought it was no big deal. The school punished him with a detention. And because of that detention, I thought they were going to say the school handcuffed him publicly and whipped him with a bullwhip. They gave him a detention, and because of that detention, a grade in one class suffered, and that kept him out of the National Honor Society, and now he's at risk of not getting into his top choice schools. They also mentioned he got a perfect score on the ACT.
What?
Perfect.
Oh,
if he got a perfect score on the ACT.
He's going wherever the hell he wants.
Yeah, and he's already missed the opportunity for rolling admissions. Well, let me tell you something. This is like the latest. Okay, so what now? What is you're suing the school because your straight A student with perfect scores on the ACTs didn't get into the National Honor Society. They're like, he wants to go to Stanford. Stanford doesn't give a rat's ass about the NHS.
Yeah, well, he had detention though.
Oh, my God.
And, well, here's Mom and Dad.
They told us that our son cheated on a paper, which is not what happened. They basically punished him for a rule that doesn't exist.
In my lay opinion, they violated his civil rights. They treated him and punished him more severely than other students.
He got a perfect score on the ACTs. And he's looking to go to Stanford or MIT or some of the top schools, and he's missed the opportunity already for rolling admissions.
You can't undo the Saturday detention that you gave him, but there are some things that you can fix right now and do the right thing.
Oh, Mom and Dad, I got some bad news for you. He probably cheated. I know what you're thinking. You didn't raise an imperfect human being. They didn't cheat. They wouldn't do that. They wouldn't say, Dad, could you come to school and defend me in front of the principal and my math teacher and tell them that I didn't cheat? And then you go there and you tell them that my daughter did not cheat on this test. She wouldn't do that. I know her better than you. Oh my God, she cheated on this test. Then they put the two tests in front of me and I went, you didn't even change one of the answers, kiddo? Yeah. Come on. It's not even a fair attempt, but a perfect score to the ACT.
This is a tough moment, son, but it's a great opportunity for a life lesson, and that lesson is sue everybody when you don't get things to go your way. What's the opportunity here to teach your kid? How about this? Yeah, you can be really great and you can be really smart and you can make a mistake, or someone can think you made a mistake, and sometimes things don't go perfectly. Right. Bootstraps, kid. Pull them up. Deal with it.
Yep. Make the best out of it. There's always Mankato State. Remember that.
You want to spend a little more time trying to do something with yourself and a little less time trying to impress people.
That's right.
It's mind-boggling to me that I'm sorry,
Steve. I don't know if you heard or not, but I believe they violated his civil rights.
I did hear that. Yep.
Yeah.
I love when a guy says you can't undo that Saturday detention, but you can do the right thing. Not Saturday detention. It's the Breakfast Club. We all saw it. It was one day.
Yeah.
Whatever. They wrote a paper.
You're telling me all those kids that got into MIT never had detention? Those troublemakers?
There's a new Netflix series about the Menendez brothers, Lyle and Eric Menendez. It's called Monsters.
What are those kooky kids up to these days?
Boy, I don't know. I haven't finished it. It's hard to watch. Some of the stuff, it really is. It's troubling. But there's the dad, who by all accounts was not necessarily the greatest guy. There's a scene where he's telling the kids, like, to get ahead, you want all this? They're at the Beverly Hills Mansion. You want all this? You lie. You cheat. You steal. You do whatever it takes, but don't get caught. And it's like really chilling because, of course, it's Javier Bardem is the actor who. It's like, oh my God, he is that guy. Yeah. But this is the thing. It's like lie, cheat, steal, but don't get caught. I'm just curious about the lessons. I never had this sort of issue happen. I never had a perfect ACT score within the Gorman family. My kids were, I don't even think my daughter took a standardized test. My son took the SAT. And 2 years later, schools that's when the shift happened.
Oh, pish posh.
Yeah, Marley never even took either one, which is amazing. Like, she still got into schools without taking any of those tests. Yeah. And then, of course, Connell's like, what the heck? What kind of bull? You know, he was so pissed off.
Everybody's got to waste an afternoon.
That's exactly what it was.
Stupid things.
We had issues when they were younger with, like, school thinking something, not cheating, but just not getting along or having a bad, fighting with the teacher about something. And I don't know, maybe we were a little wrong, but our thing was always, well, the teachers, it's their classroom. Yeah. Your job is to figure out how to manage this. You don't have to like them. You don't have to. Yeah. You don't even have to get an A. You can get I don't care if you get a C. I don't care if you hate the class. But you're in the class. You're going to get through it. I mean, I don't mean to act like. Trust me, we made plenty of mistakes. But stuff like this, it's like everything is a chance to teach your kid. Guess what? Yeah. Stuff doesn't go your way.
Yeah, and you're going to roll with it. These are high school problems.
Yeah.
I remember very clearly explaining to my parents the reason I took the basketball rims off the backboard was to clean them and prepare them for the playoffs that were coming up when Wolsey made the regional finals. And I got suspended from school for 3 days without pay. Wait, what?
Terrible.
And they didn't seem to care too much. You know where this all starts? Kindergarten. Remember this, Mom?
Is that you can actually opt out of homework for your children. And I just sent my son's kindergarten teacher a cutesy little email saying, I'm sorry, based on the stress, mental, physical anxiety it's causing my kid, we are done. We are done opting out for the rest of the year.
On homework for the physical and mental stress.
Physical homework. Well, basically what we've seen here, this is now 2 examples of people creating new Menendezes.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
The end result of all this is patricide. Is that what it's called?
I think so.
Parasite.
They're going to blow you away.
Maybe not quite so bad. Actually, the end result of all this is being seen across business, the business world. A full 1/4 of Gen Z applicants to jobs. 25% of Gen Zers have brought parents with them to job interviews in the past year.
No.
I'm not making this up. Most wait outside. They don't actually go into the interview, but 25% of the people who brought their parents say their parents actually did sit in on the interview, and of those, almost 10% answered questions for their kids in job interviews.
What if they're wearing matching outfits?
This is how bad parents want to get these kids out of their basement.
Anything it takes.
We helicopter parented them. We held them a little too close. We told them they were too special, but we've got to get them out of our house. Won't you please, please, please give them a job?
What do I have to do? You have to come with me to an interview. Okay. I tell you what, man, that ain't happening with this guy.
It'd be the last thing I'd do.
Oh, my God.
Take my parents to a frickin' job interview? I don't think so.
Yeah, so of the people who did, 30. No, I'm sorry. I made a mistake. I said it was 37% of parents accompanied Gen Zers to the interview. Almost 4 of every 10 bring a parent to their first big official after college job interview. They say it's there for moral support. No, moral support is call them in the morning and say, "Hey, how you feeling? Go get him, kid."
Yeah,
that's moral support.
Yeah,
this is just
wear something nice.
Yeah, this is just handcuff them. Why don't you?
Yeah, right.
Handcuff them to your teat.
This reminds me, maybe now's a good time. It is National Bosses Day for a Millennial Minute.
Hey, welcome to Millennial Minute. My name is Caden, Erica, Sienna, Ross, Michael, Smith, Edwards. This is the show for millennials by millennials. We go to the mail and we do the hashtag of the day. Who's our mail from, Christina?
Today's mail comes from Rebecca in Portland, Oregon.
Awesome. All right, cool. And what does she have to say?
She says, "Hi, Caden. My boss came up to me at work the other day and asked what I was doing when I was obviously doing nothing. I said nothing, and he told me to get back to work. That is like literally the worst I have ever felt. Is this literally the meanest thing you have ever heard?"
That's literally
That used to be a parody.
Yeah, it certainly was. I cannot imagine ever meeting somebody who was about to interview my kid for a job. Once you get the job, I'll come in and say hi.
Yeah.
Hey, and I'll say something along these lines too. Yeah, make sure he doesn't slack off. He's lazy around the edges.
I'll come have a beer at the bar. You can serve me.
Yeah. I mean, come on, man. This is all of this. All of the, again, what did I say the new euphemism is? Hey, get that robot finger out of my ass. Hey, get off my front porch. Get off my lawn.
Get your parental finger out of your child's ass.
Do you know how bad it's become? This is how bad it's become.
Yeah.
You and me are sitting here rolling our eyes. That's how bad it is. We are wondering what happened to the work ethic in the world. We are wondering what happened to these people. And when me and Zepp are literally going, this is too much. We've crossed the Rubicon. There's no going back. Boy, then it actually already happened.
Yeah, we're off
years
the cliff.
ago.
Yeah, we're bottomed out here.
Oh, that's just absolutely brutal. I tell you what, man, it's a good thing. It's a good thing nobody can accuse us of. Hang on, I'm going to stop that sentence right there. I'm just guilty as charged, whatever you think it may be. You can find the KQ Morning Show podcast anywhere you get podcasts, anytime you want. That is, of course, sponsored by Devani's Pizza and Hot Hoagies. And check this out. I'm going to be playing First Avenue November 15th with my friends from the Minneapolis alt-rock supergroup Golden Smog.
Hell yeah. I can't remember. I mean, this Golden Smog's been around for a long time.
Almost 30 years.
Minneapolis supergroup with some of our finest musicians here in Minnesota and even the new Minnesotans here.
When I first got to town, I did an interview for Minneapolis Magazine. And the guy said, "You going to be playing when you're in town?" I said, "Oh yeah, I always play. There's sessions." And I said, I said off the cuff, I said, "I'm not sure who the drummer in Golden Smog is these days, but I'll put him in a headlock and take that gig." And next thing you know, but just for the record, there was not been any headlocks. It was just happened that the guy that was playing with him last time was unavailable, and they called me, and I was like, "Yeah, sure. They're all old friends of mine."
Yeah.
And one thing leads to another, and now we're playing First Avenue on November 15th. That's going to be a fun night.
Hell yeah!
A Friday night. Thank God.
God, no kidding.
They're like, "Hey, you up for a gig in November?" I said, "If it's a Friday or Saturday, yeah, absolutely. Let's roll." So anyway, we got a couple tickets. We're going to give them away. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. It's the KQ Morning Show. Steve, Zepp, Tony, and Ryder on Minnesota's classic rock. 92 KQRS.
1 day less than a month. November 15th. What's today? The 16th. So just under a month. Golden Smog is playing at First Avenue, November the 15th. That's a Friday night. Golden Smog, a group made up of a bunch of guys from other bands from Minneapolis from back in the day, if you will. Originally, this band was a guy from Run Westy Run, a Soul Asylum, a couple of Jayhawks. You had
some Wilco, I think.
You had some Wilco guys in there for adding the Chicago flavor. It's a bit of a revolving door lineup, especially in the drummer's chair. A lot of different drummers. It's very much a Spinal Tap-esque situation.
Except they don't die.
I am doing my best to avoid spontaneous combustion at all times. I will be in the drummer's chair for this gig in a month. We got tickets to give away right now. We need 2 callers to call in 651-989-ROCK. That's the KQ Talk and Text line. 2 callers to come in, play a game. Winner gets to hang out with us on a Friday night at First Avenue. It's going to be fun. Probably a good time to say good morning to our friends in Farmington.
Well, heck yeah.
We're just all over Dakota County this morning.
I like Farmington. I do remember when the girls were small, we went out to a Christmas village there. They have like one of those old 1880 pioneer towns that they maintained, and there was a horse carriage, and the girls were very cold and crying and wanted to go back and get some warm cider and for a good time.
Are there any towns in Minnesota that are like Christmassy but more like German, Swiss, Alpine? That's the word I'm looking for. Like, are there any Alpine villages like all year round?
Trollhagen, or is that
I just dawned on me. There's got to be, or a like a place that goes real hardcore. I'm thinking because there is a town down south in Georgia called Helen, Georgia. Okay. And it's an Alpine village, and 247 there's like people walking around in lederhosen, and everything's got HAUS on the end of it. There's the so-and-so house. And I just thought, like, it's a weird one, especially if you've never heard of it and you just come across it and you're like,
did we take a wrong turn?
It's a Twilight Zone episode, and I'm thinking there's got to be something similar, probably more of a Scandinavian vibe than a Bavarian vibe, but still.
For sure. Although you got plenty of Bavarian here in the Midwest. I'm just sure of it. I'm sure some folks will chip in with some ideas and thoughts, but Trollhagen. Yeah, good place.
Trollhagen.
Taylor Falls. I don't know.
I just like the name Trollhagen.
Yeah, that's why I said it.
Yeah, that's
it just popped into my head because I used to go skiing up there, and they've got a chalet that's.
Yeah, they do.
It reminds me of that, but
Trollhagen.
There's
I
no
like that.
shortage of
A little while ago, we were discussing the fact that a lot of Gen Z people bring their parents to job interviews. I just saw a text from Jim. I'm imagining Gorman bringing his mom to the KQ interview.
You didn't?
That's what sealed the deal.
If Imelda Gorman walked in here, we'd still be talking about it. She would have left everyone feeling a little better about themselves.
Maybe she would have got the job.
She's just got the magic touch. Oh, she absolutely would have come in. You would have heard some barbershop harmonies along the way.
She would have brought some muffins.
It would have been all kinds. No. She wouldn't have brought muffins, but she would have brought like hand knitted baby blankets.
Even better.
Hundreds, if not thousands, done over the years. The knitting needles in Imelda Gorman's hands. Watch out! It's like a hibachi chef with those knives. You can get cut, but at the end of it, the softest little baby blanket you've ever felt.
Dang.
Yeah. Oh, there's a whole cottage industry down south where I've got one of Miss Imelda's baby blankets. Yeah, you damn straight you do. So 651-989 Rock is the KQ Talking text line. Plenty of people texting in about that very thing. We will revisit because there's some real funny ones on the line right now. However, on the talk part of that line, we have a couple callers ready to rock a game for Golden Smog tickets. Tony, who do we have?
They are ready to do battle, our master debaters. Yeah, you heard me.
Oh,
because we're going to be playing this. Yeah, what's more competitive and mentally stimulating than a meeting of the minds? A battle of wits? A great debate. It's a chance for our brilliant listeners to go head-to-head on important topics. We're going to give our contestants an issue, a topic, something to debate, and then they'll choose a side to argue, and we'll vote on who we think made the most persuasive case. It's the Great Debate at 8.
I like it. The Great Debate at 8. We will name someone the master of debate. I had to, say it that way.
Yeah.
Let's do this. All right, Tony, give us the names of our contestants, please.
I'll give it to you right now. Tom from Litchfield and Lori from Burnsville.
Right on. Tom, good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning. How are you guys?
We're great. Tom, give me your favorite band.
Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
That'll work. Just heard them. Refugee. Strong. Give me your favorite team, any sport.
Twins. I'll go with Twins on that one.
There you go. All right. And might as well hit Lori up while we were at the top of the segment. Lori, give me your favorite band.
The Rolling Stones.
I like it. Give me your favorite team, any sport.
I was going to say the Twins. I guess I'll say the Vikings.
Okay, it's okay. We can. It's okay if we get.
Oh, you don't want us to have the same thing, do you?
It's fine if you both order the pork chop at dinner. I'm cool with it. Whatever. I just, honesty is a strong policy, but you can't go wrong. Twins or Vikings, that's going to work. All right, we're going to play this debate, and I'm looking forward to hearing just how competitive and heated we can make this. Tony, take it away. Let's see. I guess Tom's up first.
Okay, Tom, you're up first. Now the question is it better to be a superhero or a super villain? So you pick a side, and that's the one you'll defend.
Let's see. You
want to go with superhero or super villain?
I'd have to go with superhero.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
So Lori will be the super villain.
Now, how much time does Tom have to make his case?
What do you think, Ryder? Give him about 30 seconds.
Sounds good to me.
Does that sound fair? Okay. All right, you ready to make your case, Tom?
I'm ready as I'll ever be, yeah.
All right.
Beautiful.
Hit it, my friend.
You're up.
All right. Well, just for the good of humanity, we have to understand that, being a superhero would be the obvious choice.
Mm-hmm.
Helping people out when you can. You're not trying to destroy the world even for your own, benefit or anything at that point. It's pretty much simple as that, in my opinion. Superhero is definitely the obvious answer.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I can see some benefits to being the supervillain, cool costumes and everything like that. But same goes for superheroes anyway. But I gotta stick with superhero on this one.
All right.
Perfect.
Yeah.
30 seconds.
Well delivered, Tom. Just feeling like it's just a better for the central nervous system to do good than bad.
Obvious.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. All right, Lori, our favorite supervillain. You're going to have 30 seconds to defend that place in the conversation. Are you ready, Lori?
I am as ready as I can be.
Nice.
All right, go, Lori, go.
Okay, well, I think there's something to be said for a supervillain. Anybody can be a superhero. Anybody can pretend to be one. Supervillain takes a lot of initiative, a lot of thinking. You can't be a dull person to be the villain. And everybody remembers the villain. What about the witch in Wizard of Oz? You know? What? Think about the villains. You remember the villains. Remember the villains in Batman?
All right, Lori.
Well done.
There's your time, girl.
Did not see that witch laugh coming.
The cackle.
Yes. Excellent.
That was very good. Great job, both of you guys. Is there one or two rounds to this?
There is 2 rounds, so we're going to give them another one to battle.
I hate to assume. I was thinking that was the case, if memory served. Great job, both of you, for round 1. Round 2, we are up and ready. Tom, you still with us?
Oh, yeah.
Let's do it, brother. Tony, what's the subject?
The subject, okay, if you're having a fight or argument, should it be settled with a karaoke competition or a freestyle dance-off?
And to keep it fair, this time Lori gets to pick her side.
Oh, it's gotta. You said with, what was the first one?
A karaoke competition or a freestyle dance-off?
Freestyle dance-off. Let me do that.
Okay.
We will.
Liking this.
FaceTime when we need it.
Yeah, really.
That's a move.
All right, she sounds fired up. Let's have Lori go first this time. And go.
I thought I just did. What? Oh, okay. What do you want me to do?
You gotta make the case. This is the debate. You make your case
okay.
for.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Bring the moves on. I mean, you're feeling the music. You are the music. When you are dancing, anybody can sing somebody else's words, but you're writing your own with your script in your dancing. It's all you.
You got 10 seconds to close if you want.
It's real. I mean, gosh, I can't wait. Yeah, you got to get out there. You got to move. You got to show them what you got.
Yes.
All right.
I tell you what, you're writing your own script with your dancing is that's golden right there.
Yeah.
And the excitement, the visceral thrill that Lori brought us talking about dancing. Pretty impressive stuff. All right, Tom, that means you have to defend. So what is it again, Tony? If
there's a fight or an argument, should it be settled with a karaoke competition?
So Tom, you're on karaoke. You're on team karaoke. Tom, are you ready?
Yeah, we're good.
All right, Tommy, go to it.
Hit it.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. She makes some very good points. Lori does with the whole dance competition and being in your own element and it's all you. I mean, definitely true, but there's got to be a standard. I mean, anybody can just go out there and flail their limbs around, so to speak. But if you have a standard, say a song or something that's already been recorded, already been listened to, I think that that has a little bit of a guideline to it at that point. So at least
and that's
a standardized way to go about it.
Yeah,
karaoke would be the way to go.
All right,
all right, Tommy.
So Tom taking the side of all great art comes from constraints.
Yes,
got to have the rules.
Pragmatic.
You got to have a guideline.
Yeah.
You don't want to be wandering around the wilderness trying to make sure your knees and ankles are aligned perfectly to the universe. All right, very good. Guys, first things first, great effort on both of you for both rounds 1 and 2. And now I believe here's the tough part. I think we have to put this to a vote to see who's coming away with the Golden Smog tickets. I'm going to ask Tony Lee to go first and weigh in with your thoughts.
Wow. It ain't easy, but I'll tell you, Lori, I think, was astounding with her logic, and I enjoyed her theatrical enhancements as well.
Okay. That's 1 vote for Lori. Ryder, what are you thinking?
I did love the evil laugh, but I'm going to have to go with Tom on the karaoke thing, especially, if it's a battle, you got to have some standards. You can't just be flailing.
Okay. All right.
There's our school teacher right there.
That's it.
I like it.
All right, Zep.
I mean, she had me at the cackle. I'm a sound effects guy. I love that kind of stuff. I like the cackle. I like the gusto also. Tom, I'd take Tom into a courtroom with me. That guy's going to win an argument, but, if we're just going with the master debater here this morning, Lori gets my vote.
All right, fair enough. I guess I have the potential tying vote, or it's going to be a boat race for Lori. And I too would take Tom into a courtroom, but the witch laugh just got me. I mean, I'd love to come up with a different answer, but man, that was strong, and the enthusiasm and everything for a morning show. I got to give it to Lori. That's a 3-1 victory according to the judges here. Tom, great effort, Tom. We do appreciate your efforts.
Much appreciated, guys. It was fun.
Thank you, Tom.
But Lori, you got tickets to see Golden Smog Friday, November 15th. Come on out, have a good time. I'm looking forward to seeing you there. Thanks for playing.
I am so pumped. Yeah, I'm ready.
So pumped. That's what I like to hear. Right on. All right, very nice, man. That's a couple of very solid debaters right there.
Yeah, especially when you consider the topics.
Yeah.
They're so out there, over the top.
Tony, superhero or supervillain? Tony Lee.
Well, the villain is always much more interesting.
That's true.
But the hero will make you weep.
I see you coming as the hero, but being the supervillain. You know, the old switcheroo.
You got me pegged. The old switcheroo.
Der Wolf in sheep's clothing.
Right, exactly.
I can see it. By the way, Marvel and DC, did you see the story? They lost the trademark for the term superhero.
No, really?
Yeah. They've had it for decades. And apparently there was a situation, something about Super Babies brand went at them, and it was settled in a court of law, and basically they've lost. Anybody can use the term superhero now. For years, only Marvel and DC were able to use that term.
KQ Morning Show, Superheroes in the Morning, something?
That's it. No? Let's call it. We'll rebrand this thing right now.
What about the sandwich? Do you still have the superhero sandwich?
Sandwich?
The hero.
The
heroes. What would our superhero? What would our as a morning show? If we were going superhero, I wonder what we would be like. I mean, I would just go if I had a superhero, and it just goes. It's a family thing. My nickname as a kid was Beaver. I would be Beaver Man. I would have enormously strong teeth, but not 247.
Right.
Only when I needed them. You know what I mean?
Isn't that your old college nickname, Beaver Man?
If when I'm rewriting the story, yes. In reality, no, far from it.
Right. I think my superpower would just be a bad attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody. That's even. Yeah.
Bad attitude, man.
So bring the bad attitude. We're more like the mystery man.
I would be Dorkaramus.
Dorkaramus?
I think, yeah. My power would be tripping.
You'd be tripping, and then you could interrupt any caper, any heist in progress, and numb them to death with talk of aliens and things like.
Yeah, while I'm monologuing them with my bad attitude, you always get a monologue there in your superhero movies. While I'm monologuing with them with my bad attitude, you come in then, Tony, and trip into them, knock them over, and then Beaver Man, that's where you take over.
That's exactly right. Yeah. Don't expose that jugular if Beaver Man's on the scene.
I saw a guy with a bumper sticker. Bumper sticker said "Eager Beaver Retriever."
Oh my God!
Attaboy.
And then but then if the three of us can't take care of it, we'd call in Pabst Girl to round out the superhero quadrant.
Is the power I can drink all the beers and never get drunk?
Is
that the power?
That would be a superpower.
Oh my God!
Did anyone see that show on? It was like streaming. It was called Sugar. Just a few months ago. I think we talked about it once. Sugar. It stars Colin Farrell. It was on Max, HBO's sort of thing. He's a detective in L.A., and the big twist about midway through, sorry, spoiler alert, he's an alien.
Oh!
And you're 3 or 4 episodes in before that becomes clear.
Okay.
What?
But during the show, you notice that he's drinking copious amounts of whiskey, and he never gets the slightest amount of a buzz.
Yeah.
And he tells the woman, he goes, I have a weird thing. My body processes alcohol at twice the normal rate. And everybody just accepts him at his word. But he's just constantly drinking. And I was like, I wonder what the twist here is going to be. I did not think it was going to be he's an alien form. I was like, yeah, that's a bit much. But it just reminded me. I just realized, wow, Ryder. That's maybe Ryder's maybe not really from Minnesota.
Yeah.
Either she's actually drunk and knows how to pretend she's not, or she's an alien life form. It's the only two options.
Oh, it's boozing time.
And by the way, Ryder, I'm not trying to pry here, but how many PBRs have you had since the show started this morning?
I think we're looking at a baker's dozen.
There you go. Bam. Gotta love that. That's pretty exciting. Every time I've ever left a job, And I'll just be the first to admit it. If I'm leaving, if I know it's my last day, I'm looking around. I'm thinking, what can I take with me here? But I wait until I'm released of duty. But apparently, that's not always the case. Ever take anything from work? Think about it. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It's Wednesday, October the 16th. I don't endorse or condone the use of cocaine at all, but the song sounds good.
He's got a good groove.
Man, he's working it. For my money, Eric Clapton, a lot of strikes against the guy, but hey, he hooked up his buddy J.J. Cale, did a couple of After Midnight cocaine, Hey, you got some good songs. Let me put them on some records and sell millions of copies, and then you can go buy a house. It's good to have a guy like that in your life sometimes. Everybody needs an iconic superstar musician in their life for just those moments when you have a great song that nobody wants to hear you sing.
That's why we have you here.
Thanks. Glad I could be that. Which guy am I?
Still waiting for that to pay off.
Am I the guy writing songs about drugs, or am I the guy making hit songs?
I don't know.
Nah, come on.
I don't know who you are.
Just saying. I do sometimes find myself thinking, when it's my last day at KQ, something tells me I'm going to take some of those sound effect CDs on that shelf. I'm walking out of here with something with parting gifts. I have left many a job with what I call parting gifts.
Yeah,
it's like Bob Barker. We've got some nice parting gifts for you over here, and any goods in Todman production. If you missed on the game, they at least gave you a parting gift.
It happens a lot in relationships when you're leaving. You might
That's
grab
exactly
an extra
right.
CD or two,
Sure.
or I don't know, something.
What
nice
was it
end
on?
table.
I believe when the couple breaks up in St. Elmo's Fire, and Judd Nelson screams, "So Springsteen leaves this house."
I seem to lose a lot of hoodies. Apparently,
Is that
ladies
it?
like
Hoodies?
to take the hoodies with them.
Yeah. Some favorite clothes. I broke up with a girl once, and I noticed, like, what? Where's all that stuff I wear all the time? What the hell? She returned them. She came to my place of employment, a record store, and brought them all in a big grocery bag.
Very public.
Yeah, very public. That was nice. That was fun. And none of my coworkers made fun of me for months afterwards. Of course not. That was great. But I've left jobs plenty of times through my own accord or otherwise. And most of them were in what we call it, the fast food industry, or pizza specifically.
Yeah.
But several times I've been told, you're not coming back. And my response is always, okay, I get it. Let me just make this final pizza that I had the order in here for, and I just load up a pie with everything and walk out with it. I did that several times. I was the one time I left a job, I was told, and I wasn't even fired. This is what happened. Boss came in, and I was the doorman at a club. It was like a off-campus bar, food and drink all day, all night, and then 3 or 4 nights a week a band as well. So it had live music, and otherwise just a college bar. I was the doorman checking IDs, and not when I was working, but somebody had served an underage plant. The cops sent in a kid, like a 17-year-old kid, without even a fake ID, and he was served a beer, and it was the third strike. And I come to work to be told, club's closed. It's out of it. We've lost our license. It's over.
Yeah.
Tonight, it's just a free night. We're going to have a few bands that are going to come and play, but we can't serve anything. We're shut down. We're open. So there was no charge. But I just was like, well, there's a back room full of beer, and it's not going to drink itself. And I think I walked out with not one but 2 cases of Foster's oil cans. Those giant cans of beer.
Oh, boy.
I love those oil cans. And then at one point, I finally realized this beer doesn't taste good. But up until then, it was great. I was really into my Foster's oil cans.
A damn big can.
But yeah, if you fire me, something's coming home with me. That's my severance.
Yeah.
That's the way I saw it.
Small little radio station in Iowa, I remember. It was one of those deals. We love everything. They fired the entire staff, but they did not take our keys. So we went back and I stole the microphone.
Did you really?
I mean, but it was a going out of business sale. They shuttered it. They closed her down, shut her off, the whole deal. Actually, they went on to satellite. I'm like, well, they don't need a microphone, so still have that microphone. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do with it.
Of course, you hid it in your pants as you left.
Well, I was just happy to be leaving.
I'm thinking of all this because there's a viral video on TikTok. A woman, she's Australian, left a job. She left a toxic job and decided after sitting at her desk for years, taking crap from the bosses, she's going to take her office chair. She's like, I'm finally out of here. And she took her chair and just threw it into her car and took off, and nobody said a word. And she thought that's the perfect crime. I'm leaving. I've had enough of you. And a week later, she gets an email saying, you need to bring the chair back.
And she did.
And she did. It's like, that's not the way to know. You don't even respond to the email. You just claim, I don't even know what you're talking about. But she returned the chair. That's why you take beer or pizza. You can't return it.
Here's Arlie's English accent.
When I left my last job, I took my chair. In my mind, I figured that I had been sitting there taking years of emotional, physical, and verbal abuse. And for some reason, I was like, well, I've been sitting here taking it, so I'm going to take my chair. And needless to say, they emailed me like a week later saying, bring back the chair, and I did. And it was really embarrassing. But, you live and you learn.
It was like you got fired twice when you had to bring the chair back in.
That's tough.
I mean, you dig your heels in. Physically abused? I mean, they have laws in England, don't they, against that kind of stuff?
Walk of shame.
Yeah.
I guess you don't even have to wait until you're fired or quit. You can also just be the kind of person who just takes, I think I need that box of number 2 pencils.
Yeah.
Tony, anything ever from a job?
I was thinking of an early job I had was at a women's clothing store. And piece by piece, I stole a full mannequin.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
I'd be walking down the street there with an arm. I'd get some looks, but she has accompanied me on many pranks, parties. We even had our neighbor across the street, Herschel Kaplan. My mom and dad went out of town for the weekend, and they called to say that I had a woman lingering in my room the whole time they were out of town.
Very shapely woman.
Yes.
This isn't some teenager. This woman has got the curves.
Right, but she was motionless.
She was lingering.
We've all got stories, and then there's Tony's stories. They're all just a whole... I can't say they're a cut above, but they're a cut over to the side. It's another... Every one of them is better than the one before.
Always a nice twist.
Her name was Lois, by the way.
Whatever happened to Lois?
Still have her, just the head and the torso.
Oh,
her name was Lois. She was a dummy. That is incredible.
Yeah, that's a good
that's top notch. Ryder, anything ever find its way to your home?
Nothing as cool as a mannequin. Very practical, very useful. When I was leaving the radio station group in Fresno, I took a dolly. I was moving. I needed it.
Yeah.
I needed to load all the boxes into the truck.
Wow. Take a dolly, leave a dolly.
Yes.
Now whatever happened to that dolly?
Yeah, pay it forward. I think it was a buddy stole it from me.
Yeah, that's what happens with the dolly.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens with the dolly. There was somebody out there in Fresno, though, a couple days later who was just like, by God, where's God?
Yeah. How are we going to move all these T-shirts? I don't know.
Exactly right. That's a rough one, man. 651-989-ROCK is the KQ Talker text line. You ever take anything from work? We'd love to hear about it. I have a buddy of mine who is a bit of a, he's not a bit of a, he's a restaurateur. Started a pizza joint down in Atlanta for years where I used to work. This is a friend of mine who has 3 times fired me. I worked off and on, and 3 different times, this guy that I'm still very close with was like, hey, man, you're fired. Oh, okay. And every time I would leave with something, pizza, beer, or sometimes both. 3 times. But great guy. But he and his partner, so they opened up a pizza slice place in the early 80s. They were young men, early 20s. They had an idea. They had been to New York City, and they were like, that slice thing is really cool. Let's do that down here. And so they worked at an Italian restaurant, like a nice family sit-down restaurant. And for a year plus, probably a year and a half, they were hatching this long-term plan to get a loan, get some help, and open a pizza slice place, like a New York-style pizza place. And so for a year or so, or a year and a half anyway, every time they worked a shift at their restaurant, they would leave with one non-perishable item that they know nobody would miss. Like 1 gallon jar of black olives sliced.
Yeah.
1 gallon can, I should say. One giant, 50-pound bag of flour.
Yeah.
Anything that didn't need refrigeration that would last for a year, until they were ready. And so when they opened their restaurant, they had supplies out there. They had a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
At least for the first few weeks, they were ahead of the curve. And I was always like, I totally get that, but I'm just not enough of a mastermind to think that far ahead.
I'm a short term.
I cram for tests, also in thievery. If I'm going to do something like that, it would have occurred to me like my last week. We should have been taking olives this whole time.
I don't even save the money I should be in case. I'll know I'm getting fired. I'm probably going to get canned from this job, and I won't even save a few bucks, let alone have the wherewithal or the forethought to start sneaking things out one piece at a time. That old Johnny Cash song. Stole an entire car, worked at a car factory, stole it one piece at a time. Then
it was the big caddy, right?
Yeah, he goes, I had a 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58. Do me when I want to.
Man.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. This one is took a 4-foot solid styrofoam Pillsbury Doughboy from a job once. Mr. Ryder.
That is sitting in our basement.
I was
he doesn't
gonna
know what to friggin' do with it.
Wait,
Why can't we just throw it away?
Jim did? Your
No.
dad?
No, Mr. Ryder.
Yeah, Steven.
Oh, Mr. Ryder. That's right.
Man, a 4-foot solid styrofoam Pillsbury Doughboy. That's strong.
You don't do anything with it. That's a fixture. That's part of the family.
I used to have great posters on the wall that I took from my grocery store when I worked produce. They had the banana ripeness chart, but it was a giant wall poster. That was those things, and then other ones like plum varieties, a poster of 36 different types of plums, and I had them for years. And this is at a time when I have a new apartment every 6 months, and I would always put them up, and everybody was like, "That's the coolest poster I've ever seen."
Is that Andy Warhol?
You just somebody shows up, you're listening to no, let me tell you about this band called Big Star you never heard of, and here's a bong, and then all of a sudden that banana chart is the centerpiece of the day. Man, it's so cool, man. Yeah. It's this is the best stuff I ever stole from a job.
I had a life-size cutout of Joe Paterno before he was shamed. That I actually that wasn't working there. That was at I may have snuck that out of a shop in broad daylight. I don't
know. I doubt
it. This on the text line. Coworker took a double-headed gumball machine from the hotel lobby, disassembled the gumball heads off, put it in his check bag, and flew home from Oklahoma with it to Minneapolis.
Okay. All right.
All right.
That'll work. 651-989-ROCK is the KQ Talking text line. Who we got, Tone?
Troy from Hutchinson has a tale to tell.
Troy, good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are we?
We're all good, brother. Give me your favorite band.
It's probably going to be Iron Maiden, who I'm lucky enough to see next Tuesday.
Nice. And favorite team, any sport?
Favorite team? Yeah, that'd be the Wild.
The Wild. All right. So far, so good this season. Troy, what's your story?
Yeah, so this goes back a ways. When I was 16 years old, I was a dishwasher at this high-end restaurant down in the St. Cloud area called Pirates Cove. No longer there, but super cool at the time. Swanky dinner club type place. And 16, working, till 1, 2 in the morning pretty much every weekend. And one night I was walking out to my car, naive as can be, and kicked this box that was sitting next to the dumpster, about broke my toe because it was a full case of frozen lobster tails. And so as I did this, one of the cooks who was back behind the restaurant partaking in something that's legal now but wasn't then, comes running and said, "Hey, Troy, what are you up to?" I said, "Well, there's a whole case of lobster tails here. Somebody must have accidentally threw it away." He's like, "Well, geez, you should just take one of these." And he hands me one without thinking anything about it. I'm like, "Well, that's awesome. Take it home." And then my dad explained to me the next morning, he said, "I bet you those boys are having a little lobster barbecue today." And so just found it kind of funny that I had no idea that something like that.
Yep, that's how that works.
Yeah, and he gave you a little taste, so then you were complicit in the crime.
That's exactly right.
Exactly.
And chewed you off with a lobster tail.
That's it. If you have to ask who's the rube, you're the rube. Right on, Troy.
Exactly.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Have a great day.
Coffee. So I worked at a coffee shop. I took the heavy metal chalkboard that they had to write quotes on.
What? All right.
It's like
that came in handy.
Today's inspirational quote. The heavy metal chalkboard. Yeah, that I can see that. You just think that's going to look good in your apartment somewhere. It's not a 4-foot styrofoam Pillsbury Doughboy.
No.
I just feel like the chalkboard is probably a middle finger to the boss because they were sick of looking at those inspirational quotes.
I would imagine that's true.
This is a great topic for Boss Day, too. What did you steal from work when you got fired by your boss?
Man.
I was escorted out of a lot of buildings now that I think about it. I didn't have an opportunity. That's how they do it. They walk you to the door.
Never been escorted out. I've never had a job where they even had someone. That's it. I just worked in little tiny. I've never worked at a real company. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, mine was actually my buddy I'd ride motorcycle with, Paul. He was the security guard at the radio station. It was a TV station deal. It had all of that going on, and came up. He's like, "Dude, I got to escort you out." I'm like, "I'm glad it's you, man. Let's do this."
This isn't being fired from a job, but I did take something once, and I just about ended up getting my ass thrown in jail. I don't know if I've ever even told this story before. We made, 1989, Black Crowes make our first album, Shake Your Money Maker, at a studio in Atlanta called Soundscape. And we have a great time. We finished the record. We feel great. A couple months later, I am informed that the studio is going out of business. And I truly charged emotionally, wait, no, it can't. I'm already thinking we're going to make our second record there. We're going to make every record there. It's going to be our Abbey Road.
Yeah.
And so I hear that Brendan O'Brien, who engineered our first album and then went on to become the biggest rock producer, arguably the last 35 years, he's over there that night working with a local band in town, friends of ours, guys called Follow For Now. They're in there doing some demos. I stopped by, unannounced, uninvited.
Yeah.
Drunk, as was normally the case.
Yeah.
And I walk in, he's like, "Hey, what's up, man?" I'm like, "Oh, man, here's closing." He goes, "Yeah." And they had, for sound baffling purposes, in the major tracking room, they have these giant velvet curtains. They're 20 feet tall. They go all the way to the high ceiling.
Yeah.
Huge, incredibly heavyweight velvet curtains that baffle off rooms if you need be.
Perfect for your apartment.
And I said, no, perfect to make a backdrop for the band on one. That's how I am. And I go out and I take the ladder on wheels and I roll it up and I go, "Hey, Brandon," I said, "Hey, man, I'm just going to take one of those curtains. If they're closing down." And he looked at me and goes, "You sure you want to do that?" And I was like, "Yeah, what's the problem?" This is how stupid I am. And I go up and I climb up, and sure enough, I fold up a giant curtain, and it weighs way more than I would have imagined. I somehow get it to the trunk of my old beat up Dodge Dart, and I leave with it, leaving a producer and a local band going, "What's wrong with that person?" And I go home and think, "This is great. I got this thing, and I'm excited about it." I then get a voicemail the next day from the owner of the building, who got my phone number, and he said, "I understand you have my curtain. You have until the end of the day to get it back, or I'm calling the police." And I am like, "Oh my God," I'm freaking out. And then he called the record store where I worked to try to track me down, told the owner what was going on.
Wow.
The owner, I come into work that day, he's like, "Yo, what's going on?" And I'm like, "I don't know, man. We were just out driving around. I'll get it back." But here's the problem. I had a gig that night an hour away in Athens, Georgia. I called the guy and I said, I've got your curtain. It's fine. I'm so sorry. This was a stupid prank. It got out of hand. I didn't know how to back out of it. I was talking bit. And he goes, "All right, I understand that." And I said, "I'm really, really sorry." And then taking a mile where I get an inch, I could tell he wasn't that angry.
Yeah.
I said, "But here's the deal. I got to go to Athens tonight. If I could possibly just wait till tomorrow." And he said, "Sure, go ahead," which I was just like, "Oh, thank God." And so what did we do that night? We walked out, we played a club gig, and our intro tape, the tape we played over the PA, it's normally a cool song. It was my answering machine voicemail of him saying, "You have until tonight or you're going to jail." We played his threatening message over the PA at the 40 Watt Club in Athens, Georgia, because we're just assholes at the end of the day.
Rock and roll, baby.
That's what it was. 651-989-ROCK. Tony, who we got?
The bank is full. Let's start out with Uncle Edward on line one.
Edward, good morning.
Hey, how are we all doing there?
We're great, brother. What do you got for us?
Well, two of my buddies and I moved from North Dakota to Summit County, Colorado to ski, right?
Yes, sir.
And so the first year we were there, we're going to go back to North Dakota for Christmas. We're kind of low on money, right? You know, we're 19 and 20. And so we go over to this Holiday Inn, and we're siphoning gas, right, to get a good tank going before we go.
As one does.
And, yeah. And this Nordica ski boot band shows up like at midnight because they had a ski shop there too.
Okay.
And so the guy fixed the luggage carrier thing and loads up a bunch of ski boots and shit.
Okay.
And I run over there and I'm like looking through them like, where's my size? And I find them and I grab them and I throw them in the dumpster. And then I told them what I did, and we took off. And then we came back about an hour later, and I grabbed the boots, and they were like high-end Nordica race boots.
Right.
They're like $350 boots. Oof. And so then my dad was out there, and I really hadn't met him yet.
Okay.
I ran into a family member out there, or not a family member, but a friend of the family. And she said, your dad's out here looking for you. And we ended up meeting up and skiing at Vail. And we pulled out our boots, and we had the exact same ski boot, Nordica Comp F.
I bet he didn't steal his out of a van, however.
Wow. Right on. Edward, thank you for the call. We got to bounce. Give me one more, Tony. Who we got?
Next up is Rob from Edina.
Rob, good morning.
Good morning.
What do you got for us, brother?
Havana 3 a.m. and the 70s Pittsburgh Pirates.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I thought I was supposed to get my favorite band.
Oh, yeah.
My God, I was like, wow, talk about dropping breadcrumbs for the story. I apologize. I forgot my protocol. What's your story?
So when I was in high school, me and a couple buddies worked as dishwashers at Lord Fletcher's out on Lake Minnetonka.
Like it already.
And if you worked downstairs in the beanery, you were able to order prime rib from down there. You had to go upstairs for the cook, which was in the walk-in coolers upstairs. So we all wanted to get called to go upstairs to get the prime rib because we'd go in the walk-in cooler, sit down on a bucket, and eat a piece of delicious cheesecake.
Sure.
And then we go back down with the prime rib and wash the dish that we just ate the cheesecake off.
Yeah.
Chocolate milk for me. Whenever I had to go into the cooler to get to cook something, I'd kill like 4 cartons of those little chocolate milk.
It, yeah.
And then I would toss them behind one of the racks.
No one will ever know.
Never.
Nope. None of us have ever been suspected, accused, or most importantly, convicted of all the things we've stolen from kitchens. Thanks for the call, Rob. We appreciate it. Hey, Motley Crue just announced a brand new Las Vegas residency. It's at Dolby Live at Park MGM next spring, and we would love to send you. One winner will score a trip for 2 to Vegas. That includes round-trip air, a 2-night stay at Park MGM, and 2 tickets to Motley Crue, the Las Vegas residency. 10 runner-up winners will get Motley Crue's new EP Canceled on vinyl, plus the Dr. Feelgood 35th anniversary limited edition box set. Text the national keyword DOGS, DOGS, to 95819 for a chance to win. Top 5 at 9. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. You're listening to the KQ Morning Show. Steve, Zepp, Tony, and Ryder on 92 KQRS.
Good morning. I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show for Wednesday, October the 16th. Queen just getting some work done like they do. We have been discussing things we stole from work. Hey, come on, we're all susceptible and guilty as hell about these things. Nobody can resist occasionally. It's like what does Hannibal Lecter say in Silence of the Lambs? What does he do? He covets. What do we covet? That which we see every day. You can't help it. You're in the office and suddenly you're a little Hannibal Lecter guy and you're like, I'm taking that paperweight home with me. Whatever it is, these things just happen. Like here's a text right here. I was 15. I worked at Papa Murphy's. They would throw out leftover pizzas in the morning, and I was the lead at night. So I would take half of them and bring them home every night when I would lock up. I froze those pizza. I ate for free for months after I left. Of course.
Oh, hell yeah.
Sure it is. These are crimes of opportunity, if even crimes. That's all I'm going to say.
That one's really kind of, I'm going to give you a pass on that. Otherwise, it's going in the garbage.
That's exactly right. 651-989-ROCK is the KQ Talking text line. Do we have a caller right now?
Dave from Bloomington has a Johnny Cash-esque tale.
Ooh, Dave, good morning.
Good morning.
Dave, give us your favorite band.
The Beatles since Ed Sullivan.
Oh, attaboy, Dave. Give me your favorite team, any sport.
And the team is the Dolphins when Don Shula had them. I grew up down there.
All right, fair enough.
72 undefeated.
And hey, the Beatles, not only did they do Ed Sullivan, they did Ed Sullivan in Miami.
That's right.
So there you have it. All right, what's your story, brother?
Okay, I worked in a car parts place when I was 17, right around 1971. And I had a 1951 Hudson Hornet. And they had a catalog called the crossover catalog, which meant they had compatible parts for my car. So by the time I was done, every possible part that they had was in my Hudson.
Nice.
Strong. Perfect. Love it. Thank you, sir.
All right, man. Rock on.
This text in from Brad. In high school, I worked at the Red Owl grocery store in my hometown. We made a rental section for movies. I walked away with the Action Jackson movie cutouts one night. Life-sized Carl Weathers and Vanity hung out in my room for years.
Yes.
Hell yeah, they did. That's absolutely great. Here's another one. From my past, I realized this isn't exactly, well, it's kind of like stealing something from work. It's a bit of a stretch. Just playing a gig in 1987 at a frat house. On a college campus. And they is in the fraternity. And the frat house parties back then, at least for my band, it was all the same. You set up and you play a set and you're playing originals because that's really all we did. And they're all drinking and kind of bored. And then you take a set break and then you start the second set with one of maybe the two covers we could adequately play. And then they all love you. Yeah. And then you go back and play your originals. And by the time they decided they liked you because you played an AC/DC song, then you've just got them. And then there's a frat house. They don't care.
Yeah.
In your mind, you think it's going to be like Otis Day and the Knights, and it's not quite that, but it's still fun.
Yeah.
So we're at this one frat. They put us in the charter room as our dressing room upstairs, and there's a big bearskin rug right there on the ground. And I'm looking at it all night, and I'm like, this thing's really cool. Big ass bearskin rug. And I'm like, bearskin rug, that implies, like, I'm thinking of the movie Arthur. Like, only rich people have bearskin rugs. I'm like, I think I need that. I think you know what? I think there's probably a good chance I should walk out of here with that bearskin rug. Just a thief.
Did you go out the window, or how did you get that out of the house?
Well done, sir. Well done. My brother was part of the traveling entourage that day. He had a little Chevy S10 pickup truck. And I look out the second floor window and I'm like, hey, Dave, pull your truck right up to this window. And he takes one look at me, looks down at the rug, and we puts it together. He goes, yeah, hang on a minute. And he parks his car there, and we decide the time to do it is after the show when everyone's even drunker. So we wait, and sure enough, after the gig, go upstairs to change. We didn't have any clothes to change into. We just said, hey, let's go back to the chart room. And we rolled that bad boy up, opened the window, dropped it, boom. And I mean, as it hit the back of his truck, he peels away. And then then I walk out and casually hop in the other car with the other guys.
Yeah.
And then, reconvene down the road. I hop in the truck with Dave, took that bad boy home, had it for a solid year and a half. And then probably the 100th time someone said, that rug's disgusting.
Yeah,
it stinks.
Can you imagine?
And I'm like, no, hang on. Let me just light some more incense. It's like, how about just throw it away? And then I would tell people, well, I took it from a frat house. They're like, oh my God.
The DNA.
Do you have any idea what's in that rug? I'm like, what, just bear? And I don't want to know.
STD just laying down on it.
Right.
I bet it was a solid 2 weeks before they even knew it was gone.
Oh, I guarantee it.
Yeah.
Did
you guys? No. All right.
Should have left a note. The SIG-Eps were here. Should have turned them on some of their other Greek brethren. That would have been the way to do it. All right, let's get to our top 5 at 9. Here's a few things you probably need to know if you're just joining us. Today is National Suck-Up Day. No, I'm sorry. National Bosses Day. Go to work, give your boss a high five, get some flowers, chocolates, a card, a fist bump, a super long hug, whatever you feel. National Bosses Day.
You're talking about your wife, right?
What's that?
Talking about your wife?
Every day's National Bosses Day, if that's what we're talking about. He said, hoping she's listening. Number 4 on your top 5 at 9. It's the holiday season. Do you say caramel or caramel?
Well, it's spelled caramel, but here in the Midwest, it's caramel. Yeah, every once in a while I'll say caramel, and somebody will look at me like, "What are you college educated?"
I go both ways. I say route and root, and I don't know why. I don't know what is it, code switching. I don't know where I am when I say it, but sometimes I hear it both come out of my mouth. Anyway, you know those apples you dip in the brown stuff that's really good?
Yeah,
caramel apples. Here's the good news. They taste good, and here's the bad news. They could kill you.
Dun, dun, dun.
There was a listeria outbreak last year. 7 people died. Traced back to a batch of caramel apples. Apparently, when you dip an apple in the hot caramel gooey stuff, it doesn't kill all the bacteria that's on the apple's skin.
Yeah.
There's a natural, normal amount of bacteria. But what it does is that caramel, it adds an insulated layer, and then the bacteria that's normally there that your body can handle, it grows and multiplies like crazy. If you put that bad boy in your fridge for a couple weeks and then eat it, you're eating just a ball of bacteria. And in fact, listeria specifically will pop up. And as I said, 7 people last year died from eating too far left in the fridge caramel apples.
All right, well, don't let those suckers lay around. I remember Lisa Cheddar at a Halloween party in elementary school got one with a worm in it. Actually took the bite in and did that. Yeah, except it was more like a screech or a scream. And we all went and looked, and she had bitten into a big rotten apple that some mom had caramelized.
Lisa Cheddar?
Lisa Cheddar was the Cheddar twins, Lisa and Lori Cheddar.
Spelled like cheddar cheese?
Nope. T-S-C-H-E-D.
Oh, okay. All right. Man.
Yeah,
but still, that's a name to carry through those painful adolescent years.
The Cheddar Girls,
Cheese Girls. Yeah. All right, here we go. Number 3 on your top 5 at 9. Aaron Rodgers, our old foil from across the state line. He's now with the New York Jets, and he still sucks. I'm sorry, that's not the point. Oh, I mean, he does. He kind of does. Devontae Adams is now reunited with Aaron Rodgers. 8 years together with the Packers. Devontae went to Las Vegas, big high-profile free agent, and then immediately went, oh my God, I'm in Las Vegas with the Raiders. Wanted out. He's now out with the New York Jets. Aaron Rodgers says, this is great. My dear friend, phenomenal player. Now we're all in. We're going all in. That's what he said. Aaron Rodgers quote, it's on us now. We're going all in. It wasn't on you before?
Right.
I'm sorry. This is a news flash. It's on you?
The over-the-hill quarterback has an over-the-hill receiver. No, Dante Adams. I think he's somewhere at 30. What did I say?
Yeah.
Devontae.
I think he's 30 or 31. But the biggest, most touchdowns with a quarterback receiver duo in NFL history.
That's the two of them now?
Yeah, I just read that this morning. Wow. 54 touchdowns over 5 years.
Somebody posted too that Jordy Nelson is headed to New York next.
Take them all, Aaron. Good luck to you, brother. Just don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain. Aaron Rodgers.
Wonder whose fault it's going to be next.
I got a text from a buddy who said, he goes, you're welcome to use this. A friend of mine just said, are we sure Aaron Rodgers isn't just Trent Dilfer on mushrooms? And right now, we're not sure.
No.
Number 2 on your top 5 at 9, researchers in China have created a robotic finger to be used for prostate exams.
Hello.
Yeah, it's called a dildo, is it not?
I got him over at Sex World.
Man.
Buy one, get one free.
A BSF, bio-inspired soft finger.
Hello.
Or best sexual friend, I would think. It bends like a normal finger. It just doesn't have a human on the other end of it, but your end can be examined by a robot finger. The technology can also be used to find lumps in breast tissue, apparently. Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it. Listen, I'm of an age where every now and again, I need to have my prostate checked. That's a part of life.
Yeah.
I don't want a robot involving itself in that process. I need somebody that I can give immediate feedback to. I need someone that understands my discomfort with the concept.
Yeah.
I need somebody who I can then shame and judge and say, hey, come on, dude, back off.
With the farmer fingers.
Turn and cough, Mr. Gorman.
Yeah, you don't want that awkward breakup with your prostate pal anyway.
No, of course not. My God. You could say I've never been this close to another human in my life. Is that a robot finger up my ass, or are you just glad to see me, Doc?
Although I bet it's just as cold as a doctor's finger. Cold fingers. What do they do? Ice those things before they jam it?
Fingers. Number 1 on your top 5 at 9, the Minnesota Wild with a win last night in St. Louis. It was 3-1 in the closing seconds of the game. The Wild on a power play, and guess what happened? Oh, our goalie Philip Gustafson got the puck on his stick.
Oh,
we got the goalie goal on the road. Philip Gustafson, why not, man? Score that bad boy.
Yeah, why not?
For a 160-foot wrister. I love it.
Right in there. He thought it might be icing. No, he puts her in the net, and it's fun. I mean, you want this team to be fun with the injuries they've had and the competition they've got this season. At least be fun and maybe win.
18th goalie goal in league history.
Yeah.
Not the 118th, the 18th. And only the 15th goalie to do it, because Martin Brodeur and Ron Hextall have multiple goalie goals in their career. Only the 15th goalie ever to do that. And as you said, it's frowned upon. Coaches don't, they're like, dude, what are you doing? Stop it.
Yeah, especially if you have like a 1 lead and you don't want to ice it. But but they had a couple of leads or a couple of goal lead there with just 9 seconds left. It's fun. But yeah, I would have swore I saw, a dozen of them in my lifetime, but I guess not.
Yep, I was shocked by those numbers. So anyway, nice job there, dude. Way to put your name in the history books, quite sincerely. Good morning to Minnetonka. A nice part of the world.
Yeah, what can you say about Minnetonka? It's a gem out there on the west side, It's
really
got it all. We had someone calling in today, Lord Fletcher. Someone stole something out of there, didn't they? Oh, no, that was the guy that would go up and have the cheesecake when he had to go up and get some prime rib.
The cheesecake.
Over there at Lord Fletcher's. He'd stop in for a cheesecake break.
A lot of good. It's tough, when you have a job and you're like, oh, this is great, I can eat for free. But what if you have the thing where it is just like cheesecake or just cake? Like every now and then you're like, can I just work in a BLT or something? It's just, it's exciting, and the act is, the buzz is kind of what it's all about. But can we just mix in something else here occasionally?
That case of lobster tails we heard about this morning, too.
That'll work.
Get the KQ Morning Show podcast wherever you listen. 92 KQRS.